Is what I aim for, wait till I hit the goal, and that's the top score. Some takes a long, others with the ease to write the rhyme and line. Others a cool breeze, keeping on and on and on and on to get the justice and the job's really done.
Hello, this is Scottish Girl from Instagram coming at you with a podcast called The Trees Have Eyes on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Spreaker.com. Hello, everyone. I wanted to share with you an event that happened last night, and it happened to me, and it's important that I discuss it with people, like what my experiences are with people when I do these things that I do. And it's kind of heartbreaking. My mom was all emotional. She didn't feel comfortable talking about it. She felt like crying and she was in deep agony. She felt very sad. And I can understand her point of view. I can understand why. And this is why we need education on the subject of human trafficking, so that we can prevent it from happening to people. So she was crying a lot. And she felt very upset with me about what I did. So yesterday night was 11 something at night, like past 11:30. I left the house all dressed in black. I was wearing only black clothes. I wasn't wearing anything that was colorful or anything that looked brighter. They were all pitch black, dark clothes. Plus I was wearing a hoodie, so it covered up my face. These are how predators can easily prevent you from getting safety. It's how predators can pick on you out in the community if they don't know you. From my experience being a 31-year-old woman, I know exactly how it is. I mean, I look so young. It's wrong for someone to pick on me at this age, but yet I look so young. I look like a 20-year-old. It's kind of weird. It's like, I look like some student that would be in college or in high school because of my facial features and how I look. I look like a young person. I don't look like I'm getting up there in age. I look like I'm a young person. I'm so lucky that I have all this body weight on me that I'm able to protect myself from people. Because I weigh like 190 something pounds. I checked my weight last time and I weighed 195 pounds. So obviously something in me can have some strength in me from people in the community that can harm me. That's like a good quality of me, to be strong in the soul, in the mind, and in the willpower of believing in God and being strong physically. So yesterday I walked out of the house in the cold. It was so cold outside. It was like there was like frost everywhere. And I remember I walked out of the house very fast and I walked all the way to downtown Bloomington. On my way walking, I was so cold and my fingers, I was like licking my fingers and trying to put my fingers in my mouth and trying to breathe in my hand because it was just so cold. I had no gloves on, nothing on me except a cell phone. I noticed one thing. I did have my cell phone on me. And the internet is filled with predators. You don't know who they could be. You don't know nothing about them. Could be a complete stranger in your neighborhood, complete neighbor in your neighborhood, complete person that you don't know, person random. Nobody that's on your mind, obviously not, because if they were on my mind, I would have been going far, far away with them, somewhere so far away. I would have been clear as nights going to California or Las Vegas with them, and they could have taken me far, far away. So this is what happened in downtown Bloomington when I was there. I walked past the police station. I walked past the library. Walked all the way downtown. I walked to this person who was pointing a finger at me. He told me to come to his car. I didn't know this man. He was a complete stranger. So when I was doing all these things, like walking outside late at night, just walking for no reason, something told me, well, it would be kind of funny to do this because of this, which there's no reason to do that. In your honest decision-making mode, you do not walk out of the house late at night and you don't do that kind of stuff in your right mind. You never do that. And that's not what I do in my regular mind either. It's just I've suffered from so many issues that's like I don't even care anymore. Why would I even care what I do? Why would I care about decisions if I don't care anymore, you know? Because I don't. Why should somebody in a place of mine care enough anymore? You just don't care at a certain point. You just don't care about anything. So it brings your mind to not caring. And then you just don't care about anything. And then you just don't care at all. So, you become very self-centered. And so this guy, he basically lured me into his car. He told me to come here, and he was like, "You want to get in the car with me? You need a ride." He was kind of asking me out to go out with him, to go out on a date, to be promiscuous with him. And I got in his car. I didn't know exactly where he was going to take me, but I knew it was going to be something was going to take me somewhere, and it would be farther away from downtown Bloomington. I knew something was going to happen where I would be in danger in some way or not. And so, the whole time he was in the car with me, he was asking me to have sex with him. He was asking me questions like, what do you want to do tonight? What do you want to do tonight? Do you want me to take you out? Want me to buy you something? Want me to spoil you? Want me to take you out, get something to eat? What do you want? And I looked clearly vulnerable to him. I looked like somebody that is desperate for some type of attention, or obviously that's where I'm at right now. And so I was at this risky behavior, doing these things to, it all ties into pressure by predators to do what they say, to do what they want you to do. So this guy, I recorded his voice on my phone and sent it to my mom as my mom was texting me. Where was I? She didn't know where I was in the middle of the night because she was trying to ask me for my cell phone. That's why. But I left him my cell phone. So she was concerned about me, obviously. And so I gave her some awareness of what was going on, and I sent her this audio clip of this man talking to me about sex and asking me to have sex with me, and he was groping me and wanting to have sex with me, and I didn't know him, and he was just a random stranger off the street. So, yes, it was bizarre. So he was driving, I noticed his car was driving kind of slow. I told him, if you want to make me a prostitute, you might as well just kill me, because I don't want to live anymore if you're going to make sure that I'm a prostitute and I'm just going to go do all this stuff that I don't want to do, And so I told him, you can kill me right now and make me dead. You can kill me with a gun if you want and just make me dead. I'm not going to be your prostitute. And so he said, no, I'm not going to do anything like that. He was just being nice to me the whole time. But he was talking to me about sex. And so I was kind of a little bit freaked out by that. And so I didn't know what to say to him. I felt like my whole identity has been crushed because a lot of people on the internet have talked to me. Strangers have talked to me that I didn't know. And I was flirting with them, all of them, most of the time. I just flirt with people I didn't know. And what this type of situation does to people is it makes them so vulnerable to saying yes, even when they want to say no. And in my situation, I've been so in reckless, bad situations that I would want to say yes instead of no. I'd rather say, just kill me, or yes, I'll have sex with you and get pregnant with you. I don't know you, because it's something that I don't want to do, So, as I was saying, your car is going kind of slow. I was trying to unlock the door and get out of his car as the car was driving. And so I literally almost got out of the car with it driving still, and he actually stopped the car and let me out. So that was a good thing. And then I noticed as I was walking down the street, and I was kind of hiding along the way to another part of the street, a couple blocks down. I was walking all the way 2 blocks down. I called the cops, and I called 911, and I said, I'm up towards near Upper Limits, rock climbing facility, all the way towards across town, like towards the south side of town or the west side, and I could have been raped. I could have been in his car dead from any type of situation. I could have just been stuck with him. He could have taken me to California or Las Vegas. He could have taken me to Texas. He could have taken me anywhere. He could have taken me to Florida. He could have taken me someplace far, far away, another country. Yeah, it was kind of puzzling, but I had to call the cops because what else could I do? I had to call the cops. I had to let them know what was going on so then he can get me back in his car again. So what I did was I called the cops. I called 911 and I said, I'm hit this location. This car drove by and it was a police car. And he knew it was me because my mom had called the cops. So he pulled over his car and talked to me. I told him what was going on. This guy was asking me to have sex with him in his car and I didn't know him. I told him all the details of everything. I sent him the recording, let him listen to it, everything I said. And because my parents have guardianship, they stuck me in the hospital for a little while. And then I didn't get admitted to the hospital, but I was in a little hospital visit again. I was at Broman Hospital in Bloomington. And as long as I wasn't suicidal, they didn't admit me. But in another part of town, another city or something like that, they would have definitely put me in the hospital because of the way that I was acting. But see, the thing is that we need to know what human trafficking is. We need to know what human trafficking is. We cannot just let people be labeled stuff that they're not because they're in a big situation like that where they are a survivor or a victim of human trafficking or at risk. It's so dangerous to not diagnose people with the correct terms. Why label somebody schizophrenic if they're a victim of human trafficking? Why label somebody something else when they're really going through depression? It's not appropriate to label people the wrong things. And so this is where we get to understanding what it is, what human trafficking is, and also why I'm at risk for human trafficking. Why this is concerning me, why the actions that I make are even happening in the first place. First reason why I'm at risk is because I walk out of the house late at night and this person doesn't even know me and they're asking me about sex. I'm vulnerable. I don't have the resources I need to function like an adult. I don't have access to things. These types of predators are stripping me down on my resources. This is including my parents because, well, they have guardianship. If they got guardianship over my estate and they're making sure I live on the street or not have a place to live anymore, obviously something's a little bit fishy about that. So if they're stripping me of my resources to not have money, to not have access to things, to not make myself feel good, to not at least, feel like me. To feel like me. Now, if I could do anything to change one little thing that would make me not walk out of the house, I would do it. Starts with taking a shower. It starts with doing myself a favor by being nice to myself. By talking in the right manner in my head when I'm trying to think about brainstorming why things happen and why things were in the past and stuff. And what could they be in the future? If I would just, stay in the house and go take a shower, maybe do my eyelashes, take care of myself, do my nails, I would feel much, much happier. I wouldn't feel as much identity issues as I do now. I'm feeling lost. But really, I'm not a lost person because I have God by my side and I am a survivor. And all these steps that I've taken to be a survivor instead of a victim is helping me not be trafficked. It's helping others not be trafficked as well. This is the definition of human trafficking. According to the federal law, human trafficking is the exploitation of a person through force, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of forced labor, commercial sex, or both. All types of victims or survivors are both adults and children, teenagers. They can be anybody. The terms victim and survivor are very different. Victim means you have been trafficked. You're about to be trafficked. You're at risk. Survivor means you're at risk, but you've survived through it. You're not going through it because you keep surviving or you've survived. You've lived through it, so now you're here today to talk about it. It's important to use the terms that are correct, the language in literature that you use to determine which is a victim and which is a survivor. If somebody told me that I was a survivor of human trafficking, I would be less likely to walk out of the house at night than to victimize myself and tell myself it's okay to walk out of the house and just be a victim. It's important that we know what a trafficker does and how they do it. What predators do to lure their victims in. Any age, even 31. Any age. Even 8 years old. It's important that we know how to tell them to reach out to people if they feel that they're trafficked. It's important that we don't label them schizophrenic. Instead, we label them victim of human trafficking, at risk for human trafficking, survivor of human trafficking. It's important that we use these specific types of labels to identify what's really going on with the person, so then they're not confused as somebody that has Alzheimer's that's walking out of their house late at night. That we know what's really going on just based on what people tell us. And that we can tell them that they're going to be okay, not unokay. And it's okay to not be okay. People want to be referenced by what's truly going on with them. We shouldn't label people the opposite of what they shouldn't be labeled. And there are lots of people right now that are trafficking victims and survivors. In this issue of human trafficking in American schools, it talked about of 22,326 trafficking victims and survivors identified through contacts with the National Human Trafficking Hotline in 2019. At least 5,359 were under age 18. These cases are found everywhere, in rural, suburban, and urban settings alike. It's important that if we're working for a school, or working for a doctor's office, we're working for a hospital, that we identify the services that can help people in those situations. It starts in our schools. It starts where the education begins. In our colleges and universities, when we learn how to be a doctor, we learn how to be a nurse, or we learn how to be a social worker, it's important that we know what human trafficking is and how to teach people about it and how to teach people not to get trafficked. The types of services that you can find are social work services, even people like in the kitchen that are working, and janitors, people that are cooks, people that are custodians, anybody like that, a smaller version of the helper that helps bigger, that has more access to helping people. Those people can be resources as well. And even family members as well. The services that are important are like doctors. Doctors are services that help services people into helping them diagnose and treat what's going on. So they can definitely be a very big help in understanding what's really going on with the person. A social worker can help someone not get trafficked by helping talk to them, work through things. A counselor. A social worker can get you out of the situations that you're in to better yourself, give you resources. There's so many services out there to help people. A teacher can help someone. A teacher is the first resource in identifying abuse in somebody's nature, in someone's background, in someone's life. They can tell you, if they're working with the child every day, they can know how to teach the child about it. They can also teach the child what's going on at home is wrong. The warning signs for human trafficking. Feeling very down, feeling depressed, feeling like you have no identity, feeling like it's the conclusion of your life, feeling vulnerable, nothing left of life, feeling like you have no resources, feeling like there's nothing left of you because there's nothing that you can gain, hopelessness, feeling like, what else can I do to better myself? There's nothing that I can do to better myself. I don't have access to money. I don't have access to resources in the community. No access to transportation. Things like that. It's important to teach kids in schools about human trafficking. That it's a priority to teach about human trafficking. There was this online article called The Hill. Human trafficking education must be a priority for our country's schools. Talks about Governor DeSantis in Florida. And Richard Corcoran. He was the education commissioner in Florida. So Florida was the first state to require that a curriculum on child trafficking was for K-12 students. And it's time that we had people follow that in other states as well. Says here, human trafficking is a pervasive industry in the U.S., but many Americans still remain unaware of it. A 2016 study by the U.S. Department of Justice estimated the number of trafficked children to be between 4,500 and 21,000. That's every year. Every year a child gets trafficked. More than that much. More than one child. 21,000. 4,500. Says here, according to the Florida Department of Health, half of the state's trafficked victims are under the age of 18. Most human trafficking victims are underage, according to Fox News. This is a form of modern-day slavery. This can be labor trafficking and human sex trafficking. Most people who are trafficked do not talk about it with anyone. They keep quiet and they shut their mouth. Like Winona. Like that song, Winona. They shut their mouth, they don't talk about it with anybody. They keep it completely secret. They don't do anything drastic to make people wonder, is she okay? Is he okay? They keep quiet about it and they don't talk about it. Human traffickers target the most vulnerable children with low self-esteem, a history of abuse, are runaways, or in the foster care system. Those types of people feel like they've been beaten up. There's nothing left of life. They're vulnerable. They just want to end their life, or they don't want to end their life, or they feel like their life doesn't have meaning to it. Young children need to understand physical boundaries and what constitutes inappropriate or unsafe adult behavior. That time that was in that car with that stranger, I felt like that was inappropriate adult behavior. That was very unsafe. That could have gotten me into a lot worse of a condition than I already was in. And nothing even happened to me that night. What I've noticed on the internet is something like, I don't like your tactics. I don't like the way your tactics are. I don't like the way that you treat me so wrongly. Some recruitment tactics often involve older men first engaging in a romantic relationship with a young girl before coercing or convincing them to engage in sex acts with other men. And these people get paid to do that. It's important for people to have friendships, strong relationships with people. It's important that you trust people, that you talk to people that you trust, and you don't just get in the car with strangers. It's important that friends talk to other people about what's going on with you and let them know that you're okay. If you are okay. If something's wrong, you let someone know. It's important for kids to build strong relationships with their peers because it helps them be protected. It says here, adolescent peer relationships are powerful, and friends who recognize the warning signs could report their concerns to a trusted adult or convince a potential victim to end the relationship before it goes too far. The internet has also made people victims. The internet has made every child a potential victim. Predators are increasingly using social media and dating apps to find and connect with victims. That's probably where it came from, where this man got to know who I was and picked me up. But he didn't know me. I didn't know him. According to the FBI, pretty much every popular social media site out there is being used for recruiting potential victims of sex trafficking. Happens on the internet all the time. I've seen it live. I've seen this happen in real life. We need to teach kids how to use technology appropriately and social media safely, and what warning signs are to look out for. There is no one type. It's important to educate boys as well as girls. It says here that, for one, a 2016 Department of Justice study found that a third of the children trapped in the U.S. sex trafficking industry are boys. But because of the stigma associated with sexual exploitation, many boys don't come forward as victims. But in-school education doesn't just prevent future victims, it also prevents future buyers. And what I don't like right now that's going on is a lot of homeschooling, a lot of people not being connected with those adults that are educated, that have the ability to help people find resources. A lot of people at home don't get along too, and so it's wrong, like, to be an abusive household and stay that abusive household. You don't know if people are teaching their kids at home. You don't know what kind of education kids are getting these days with coronavirus and everything. You have no idea. It's important to be in school, in class, and physically in a school teaching spot where people get taught. According to the U.S. Institute of Human Trafficking, sex trafficking is a supply and demand problem. The greater the demand for paid sex, including sex with minors, the more traffickers will seek to fill the supply with victims. We live in a culture that looks the other way when it comes to prostitution. For many males, buying sex is considered a rite of passage. But many men don't realize that the women they are buying sex from are actually underage, trafficked girls. These aren't just people that just want to give themselves out there. These are people that are trafficked. And it's understandable to realize that, because obviously that's the case. You know, I mean, I wouldn't just go and have sex with somebody. We can't keep our kids out of the trafficking industry if they don't know it exists. It very much exists. It exists a lot. We all know it exists and how to stop it. I know how to stop it. I know how to prevent it. It takes using the higher level of your brain, or the whole level of your brain, to say no to doing certain things that can hurt you, that can actually get you into a situation like that. I need to stop making so much sacrificial behavior, because it's not helping me get anywhere in life. I need to be more safety aware and not do those things anymore. It's important that I make sure that I stay safe, and that I make the decision like an adult to not feel depressed, to not feel down, to not feel like I don't care, because I should care in some way being the adult that I am. When I don't do things that are right for me, that are responsible, like I don't care, it causes problems for everybody. It doesn't just hurt me, it hurts other people too. I shouldn't feel like there's nothing left of life and that I have no identity. The term survivor does help me a lot rather than victim. It definitely helps me to become a survivor rather than a victim, because my at-risk behavior definitely tells me, well, since I'm smart, not stupid, I know I'm a survivor because I'm preventing the things by understanding logically what it is. And understanding that everything is meant to be a certain way, and that it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to discuss with people how I feel about it, what's going on with me, how I feel deep inside me. I'm not going to keep things hidden anymore. I'm going to let people know that there's something wrong, there's something wrong. I'm not going to be quiet anymore towards anybody. I'm going to definitely let people know what's going on with me. I'm definitely going to educate people on my point of view and how I feel and what human trafficking is. It's a very serious topic to talk about. When I was in that car with that person, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to react. From all my experiences in the past on the internet, I felt like I didn't know how to react to that. From being in love with strangers, I felt like I didn't know how to react to that. It's easy to love each other, each person, as I love strangers. But I need to know what's appropriate adult behavior for safety. Safety is very important. It's very important. It's important that this safety is carried on with me forever, so I don't have any more issues going on with me, that nothing does happen to me. I'm proud to say I'm a survivor, and I'm proud to say the cop did help me. I'm proud to say that somebody was around to help me in my situation. Of what I was doing, I was able to say that I'm okay because they were around. I wasn't just out there on my own. I asked for help. And that's all that mattered. As long as I asked for help, I was okay. Thank you for watching my podcast, everyone. I hope you guys have a great day. I'm going to let you guys go for now, but I hope that everyone stays safe out there during this winter time, and I hope everyone has a great day. Bye.